Have you heard about those huge alligators that live in the New York City sewer system? People bring them back when they're little cute baby gators from their Florida vacations. And when they get too big, they flush them down the toilet. Okay, and there's another story I bet all of you have heard. If you mix Pop Rocks candy with soda, it's going to make your stomach explode. Yup. It took out little Mikey from the Life cereal commercials back in the 1970s. And then there's another story. I bet you guys know this one too. This woman could not stop apologizing, even though she did nothing wrong. And the stress, it caused her to shrink down and diminish, just like that movie, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. And pretty soon, no one paid her attention anymore. Okay, you got me. That last one, that's not actually an urban legend. But the fact remains, when a woman apologizes for no good reason, it becomes the story of our lives. So researchers from the University of Waterloo in Canada did a study, and they found that women apologize more frequently than men. And to that I say, duh. No surprise there, especially if you're a woman or someone who's ever talked to one. Personally, I think a lot of it has to do with how we're raised. And that's what sociology professor Maja Jovanovic thinks, and she wrote a book urging women to stop apologizing. Her theory is that women are socialized from a young age to be people pleasers. And hey, I get it. Whether you're trying to diffuse a difficult situation or avoid being disliked, it can be so easy to lead with an apologetic comment. I mean, that's what's triggering the apology speak, which is my name for it, okay? So think about it. How many times have you said something like, I'm sorry you're tired. I'm sorry it's raining. I'm sorry that internet connection sucks. I mean, it's not like you caused any of those conditions, right? Apology speak doesn't even have to involve the word sorry. So I know you guys have all been in a meeting like this. One of your super smart colleagues is about to make a presentation. You know, maybe a really big idea or share amazing results, only to take it down a few notches by saying self-deprecating comments like, oh, I'm not an expert. You might think I'm crazy, but, or in my humble opinion. And you know, sometimes an apology is necessary. Like that time a couple of years ago when Steve Harvey called the wrong name for the Miss Universe pageant winner. Or back when Cardi B threw a shoe at Nicki Minaj at a Fashion Week party. I mean, all of that deserves an apology. By the way, Steve Harvey, he apologized, but Cardi B didn't. I'm just saying. However, when a woman over-apologizes for no good reason, it diminishes the value of our ideas. It takes away from our accomplishments. It holds us back in our careers. And it really does a number on our self-esteem. This I know really well. I spent the first 40 years of my life in a constant state of apology. I mean, it was subconscious. I thought I had to dim my inner light in order to be more likable. I apologized for winning speaking trophies when I was a student. And then to the men in my life who might have been intimidated whenever I got a promotion at work. Okay, so I remember about 15 years ago, I went out with this guy I met online, and he must have Googled me because he knew all about my career. And I thought it was hilarious at first when he started comparing an honor, an industry honor that I won, with his high school wrestling trophy. For real. I thought he had a great sense of humor. But then he kept on going, listing every single career highlight in an oddly competitive tone. Now, I was a major people pleaser at the time, so I didn't know what to do, stand up. I didn't want to cause a scene or anything. So instead, I remember looking at him and saying, sorry? Can you believe that? I apologize for being successful. Back in the early 90s, I got healthy and I lost 50 pounds. That took a lot of work, and it still does to keep it off. But whenever someone would complain about wanting those same kind of results without putting the work in, did I give them a dose of tough love, something that might have actually helped them? No. Instead, I would look at them and say, I'm sorry, it's really hard. Why was I apologizing? All that did was take away from my hard-won wellness. And then back in 2009, when the Great Recession killed my business, I apologized for letting go of great people, for being more than $100,000 in debt. And then, after working my butt off to pay it all off, I apologized again, this time in the form of self-deprecating comments. I would tell anyone who listened about how stupid I felt or how disappointed I was in myself. Between 2013 and 2014, though, a couple of major things happened in my life, and it changed everything. I married my husband, the love of my life. I was diagnosed with a bad case of Crohn's disease. I became a certified executive coach, and I went back into corporate America. I mean, wow. Talk about a strange combination of excitement and intense happiness and crazy health fears and stress. It changed the way I looked at things. I began celebrating more and apologizing a lot less. And with all that growth, the thought of over-apologizing, that just seemed ridiculous. So I stopped the apology speak. I kicked that habit to the curb. And you can too. Stopping the apology speak is an important paradigm shift, especially for women, and really for anyone who might be over-apologizing. If you stop it, so many great things can happen in your life. Your confidence increases. Your sense of well-being soars. Your influence grows. Exciting, right? I mean, you want a piece of this, okay? Am I assuming this is the case? I bet you're going to be singing Demi Lovato's Sorry I'm Not Sorry at the top of your lungs by the time we're done. So here are 4 ways to stop the apology speak. Number 1, determine if an apology is necessary. Ask yourself, did you do something wrong? Did you act like a jerk? Did you hurt somebody's feelings? Did you miss an important deadline? Yeah, those things all deserve an apology. But if you're just apologizing to make someone else feel better or avoid being disliked, only thing you're doing is hurting yourself. And that does not deserve an apology. Also, number 2, pay attention. Apology speak is an obnoxious habit, kind of like if you're drinking milk straight out of the carton from the fridge, or if you bite your nails. So how do you stop that reflex? Something that helped me was to pay attention to whenever the apology speak would creep up. Take out your smartphone, a notepad, however you record things, and start writing down every instance. So how like you're in the grocery store and someone's texting on the phone and they're not paying attention and they bump into you and you go, oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, count that. Anything like that, okay? Write it down. And after about a week, tally it up. Did it happen a couple of times? Or more into the double digits? The best thing about this is you can start identifying your triggers. Maybe it's a client that's upset, or a friend who's being unreasonable, and really in that case, that's more of a frenemy than a pal, and you got to rethink that relationship, right? You got those triggers? You can start to change your behavior. You can start to plan in advance to avoid the apology speak. Number 3, reframe your words. What are you actually trying to say when you're apologizing? Is it empathy? Are you trying to say thank you? Are you just trying to connect with another person? If someone's late to a meeting, I would so much rather have them say, thank you for your patience, rather than apologize again and again and make that the focal point of our encounter. Okay, experts, they even say that you can use silence instead of saying anything at all. Ow, that just makes me feel awkward even saying it. But really, with practice, it gets so much better. Number 4, own your accomplishments. Are you tired of hiding that bright light inside of you? It can help to really embrace the milestones and wins and accomplishments you've worked so hard for in life. When I think back about that date I had with that obnoxious guy 15 years ago, I was proud of everything I worked for. It took so much time, and it meant so much to me. But instead, I let him dim my light. What I should have done was stood up, walked out, and stopped wasting my time. So here's something you can do right now to embrace your awesomeness. Pick one thing that you're really good at. Maybe it's singing, or managing a team, or, the art of axe throwing, which is really a thing these days, okay? Focus on it and think about how it makes you feel. Now, express it out loud. Are you happy, fulfilled, proud of yourself? Science has shown that verbalizing it has been proven to increase your self-confidence. So these days, I don't feel the need to over-apologize. And what if that was the norm for everyone? Picture a world where women say what they mean instead of feeling like they've got to talk just because it's silent. Where people cut through the BS and get a lot more done. Where we all own our own stuff. Now that's a world where there's nothing to be sorry for. Thank you.